You are listening to 100 Wealth Building Secrets with James Marshall. James Marshall is a registered investment advisor and president of Marshall Wealth Management. His registered investment advisory firm is registered in Texas and Kentucky. For 30 years, he has been educating, advising, and managing wealth for diverse families all over the country. This podcast is about different concepts of wealth building, some financial, some emotional, physical, and yes, some spiritual. The bottom line is you will leave with some knowledge, and knowledge is wealth. So whether you're walking, running, exercising, or having your choice of beverages, no judgments here. Clear. Then open your mind and get ready for some life-changing financial lessons. It's your time. Here is your host, James Marshall.
Welcome, Wealth Builders, to podcast number 63. To thine own self be true. Develop a clear understanding of your risk tolerance. To thine own self be true is a line from Act 1, Scene 3 of Shakespeare's play Hamlet.
These few precepts in thy memory look thou corrector. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it, that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man.
It's spoken as a part of a speech where King Claudius is giving his son, Polonius, his blessings and advice on how to behave while he's at the university. Another of many famous quotes in this dialogue. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Of course, Polonius was a man of low character, which proves that wisdom can come from very unlikely sources. Simply put, trying to be someone you are not, or fronting and faking, can be very costly when things go bad and it's time to put up or shut up.
I look at you and I see myself. Why?
I don't know. I guess I realized that I'm just Bud Fox. As much as I wanted to be Gordon Gekko, I'll always be Bud Fox.
Try to avoid putting yourself in situations that you do not have the proper pain tolerance for. Assuming everything will go as planned and that there will be no need to display any resilience or courage to overcome a negative outcome is the equivalence of playing with fire while wearing clothes drenched in gasoline. Last week, we talked about the downfalls of counting other people's money instead of living your own life and working towards your own goals with what you have. Basically, if you can't afford the payments, don't buy the Bentley. If you can't handle the occasional losses, don't invest in the stock market. If you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, leave it alone. And if you don't have the time or knowledge to manage investment real estate, leave it to the pros. You have to know that what, why, and where of how your money is invested. Warren Buffett said, don't invest in something you don't understand. If you have never taken a risk quiz, now is the time to take one. These quizzes will give you a good idea of what kind of investor you are, as well as how you feel about risk. You can find one of these quizzes on my website, marshallyourmoney.com. Just click on the Get Started tab and request our client questionnaire. There you'll find a risk quiz that you can take and score for yourself. Or you can just Google risk tolerance quiz and utilize one of many options that pop up. The key thing is to know yourself as an investor and as a person when embarking on your wealth building journey. So consider these 6 tips for wealth and sanity. And the most important tip of all is to hire a financial advisor. Investing can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. If you have a portfolio that was built for you and it was built by a financial advisor, you shouldn't be too worried about volatility in financial news. Here are a few tips for you to invest wisely and to keep your sanity at the same time. Number one, cut back on financial entertainment or media. The financial news is entertaining, but the focus is on short term trends and hype. Sure, you need to keep up with general economic and business news, that's a fact. But it isn't wise to trade on every piece of information that you come across. Now, keep in mind, print media tends to be less sensational than TV programs. Number two, stop checking your accounts online every day. If you have a properly diversified portfolio built for you, focusing on the daily changes in your account value is likely to tempt you to trade too much. If you make frequent transactions hoping to profit on price swings in the market, your trading fees will increase, which will decrease your profits. So avoid making emotional decisions and wait for your monthly or quarterly statements to arrive. As a disciplined investor, you need to tolerate volatility. This gives you more peace of mind if you understand where that volatility fits into your overall wealth building focus. Number three, focus on the bottom line, not individual investments. If one investment is doing well and the other one is doing poorly, what should you do? Well, the answer may surprise you. You should probably sell some of the investment that went up and buy more of the poor performer. It seems counterintuitive, I know, but this is the key to building wealth. You buy low and you sell high in a nutshell. If you focus on the value of your portfolio as a whole, you won't be tempted to make poor trading decisions like selling lagging stocks out of fear. Fear is not your friend when investing. Number four, clean out all the junk from your portfolio. Now, do you have stocks that you've held for a while, just waiting for them to return to the price you bought them? A good way of knowing is to actually look at some of the stocks that you have and ask yourself, would you buy those stocks today? If the answer is no, you probably should be selling them. Investors often think they need to wait until the stock price comes back before selling. Sometimes you need to cut your losses and rid your portfolio of those old underperformers. You'll feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and you can use that money to buy better stocks. Number five, create a plan and follow the rules. Plan your work and work your plan. One of the biggest mistakes that investors make is failing to make a disciplined plan. Choose your overall asset allocation, such as a mix of stocks and bonds, and stick to it. Every portfolio should be looked at least every 3 months or quarterly to see if your account has fluctuated away from your original plan. If you had a 60-40 split between stocks and bonds, you need to take a look to make sure that you're still at 60-40, because sometimes, because of growth in the market, your bonds may have grown faster than your stocks, and now you're at 50-50. So if that's the case, you want to sell off some of that bonds, bring it back down to 40%, and put money back in the stocks to bring it up to 60%. That's the basic concept behind diversification. It's called rebalancing, and it's a fantastic risk management tool. And finally, number six, hire an investment advisor. Seeking the advice of a professional doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing or you're not smart enough or capable enough to figure it out on your own. You're capable of mowing your grass. You're capable of cleaning your house and doing your taxes too. But you don't mind paying someone else to do those things for you. There are some cases where you should never do things on your own. You don't see people filling their own cavities, right? A professional financial advisor or investment advisor can help you devise a plan and offer unbiased advice about how your portfolio should be built. Who knows? You might even enjoy letting go of the reins and letting someone else guide you through this process. Well, hopefully, taking a back step from your investment life gives you a greater peace of mind and lets you focus more on the things that you enjoy, like building your career and spending time with your family. But the key thing to remember is you've got to run your own race. Until next time, keep building wealth. Peace.
You have been listening to 100 Wealth Building Secrets with James Marshall. Keep increasing your knowledge by going to marshallyourmoney.com and check out our educational videos, newsletters, and calculators. There you can also sign up for your free copy of his book, 100 Wealth Building Secrets. Like this podcast and follow it on podbean.com. You can also follow us on social media platforms: Facebook, Black Family Wealth, Twitter, James Marshall at Marshall Wealth, Instagram, Marshall Wealth, LinkedIn, James Marshall, and on YouTube, James Marshall Financial Educator. Email your questions or thoughts to James at marshallyourmoney.com. Thank you for listening. And remember, we build wealth one family at a time.
I know you can. I teach you how to say, don't waste your money, but bank your money, don't spend your ends. I teach you how to say, your bank account will be spilling out with them dividends. I teach you how to say, rule number one, if it ain't making money, it ain't making sense.